Hello students. Today we have a brief video on finding the right words for whatever kind of writing you're trying to do. First, what I'd like you to do is go onto Blackboard and check out the Readings tab. There is a reading by David Foster Wallace. It's called Shipping Out. It is a long essay, a review that David Foster Wallace wrote about riding on a cruise ship. You only have to read the first paragraph to do this lesson, but if you'd like to read the whole thing, I find it very entertaining. So go ahead, pause the video, do that now, read the first paragraph. Here we have three versions of a sentence from the first paragraph in that David Foster Wallace essay. I have smelled what suntan lotion smells like spread over 2,100 pounds of hot flesh. I have smelled what suntan lotion smells like spread over 2,100 pounds of hot skin. I have smelled suntan lotion spread over 2,100 pounds of hot flesh. What I'd like you to do is, again, pause the video, look at these sentences, maybe read them out loud to yourself, and think about which one is most correct. Which one of these do you think is the most proper English? All right, now think about the sentences again and figure out which one you like the best. This may take you reading them out loud one more time, or going back and listening to me read them one more time, reviewing them. Which one do you like the best? You don't have to have a particular reason. Okay. So when I conduct this experiment in class, most students say that the two sentences with smelled and smells together sound wrong. The editor of Harper's Magazine would agree with you. The sentence that they chose to print in the version of the essay that you read is number 3. I have smelled suntan lotion spread over 2,100 pounds of hot flesh. When David Foster Wallace printed this in his book of essays, he published the version that he wrote first, which is sentence number 1. I have smelled what suntan lotion smells like, spread over 2,100 pounds of hot flesh. So the reason that he might do that, even though it might be technically wrong, is that it emphasizes the sense of smell to your reader. Also, it contains the implication that suntan lotion smells differently when it is spread over flesh than when it is on its own. It has a special, potentially, and I think the implication is grosser smell when it's spread on people. There's also the difference between flesh and skin. Say them out loud. Flesh, skin. To me, the word flesh sounds more disgusting. Skin seems pure and neutral, but flesh has, I don't know, the sound of it bothers me for some reason. And David Foster Wallace, no doubt, chose the word flesh for a particular purpose instead of skin. I have a special note here. The etymology, or the history of the word of flesh, comes from the German Fleisch, which means meat. I would like you to think of the differences between these words. Thrifty, miserly, cheap, frugal, penny pinching. If you don't know some of these words, it doesn't matter. You don't have to look them up. Just think of the differences between the words as you know them. These all mean approximately the same thing, but when you're thinking about them, you probably have an idea of which is better and which is worse to be called or to call someone. What we have, the difference here is between denotation or dictionary meaning and connotation, which is the implication of the word, the meaning that goes along with that dictionary meaning. So, for instance, flesh is meatier than skin. So when David Foster Wallace was trying to let us think that suntan lotion spread over a person is somehow disgusting, he used the word flesh instead of skin because it has that additional meaning. The connotation of miserly might be worse than the connotation of cheap. But it's important to know that connotation can change as time passes. When I was a child, frugal was the most positive of these words. The last time I took a poll of my 102 students, which was 2 years ago, the word thrifty was the most positive of all of these. So when you are thinking about expanding your vocabulary and using words in your essay writing, this is something that is important to note. You need to be comfortable with your voice. You need to write in a way that is natural for you. And what that means is finding a word that has the right sound with the rest of the words that you're writing and also has the right connotation for the situation. It has to have the right additional meaning or flavor. It has to add to your meaning. So what this means is that it is often best to trust your own vocabulary rather than try to find other words using a thesaurus. As you read more and write more, your vocabulary will grow. As you get more comfortable understanding words, how they fit into context, and using them in sentences, you will expand your vocabulary and get more comfortable using more words. But it's very important that your language feel natural. Your instructors, other people who read your writing, everyone will know if you are just plucking a word out of a thesaurus because you want it to sound more complicated. We can tell because the sentences often don't sound natural, and sometimes the meanings, the actual denotation, the dictionary meaning of the word, will be different enough that it doesn't actually work in that sentence. So, yes, it's good to expand your vocabulary, but listen first to how the words are used before you use them yourself.